Hello, Study Notes ABA community. Welcome to the Study Notes ABA mock exam taste test review. Now that you've seen what to expect from the ABA Study Notes mock by completing the taste test questions, you did complete them right. Want to know how to make the best of your mock exam experience? You've got your results. What's next? First, a few tips on tackling tough questions on the Study Notes ABA mock and on the big exam. Take time to read every single word. I know you don't have a lot of time and may feel rushed, but this is not the place to take shortcuts. Read the whole question. Next, quickly skim the possible answers. List your hashtags and key features or other memory devices. Then return to the question and see if you have any of your hashtags in the question yourself. If you have a match, pick that answer and move on. Don't overanalyze, future behavior analysts. If you still aren't sure, try eliminating options that you know are incorrect. Think of it like using a 50-50 lifeline on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Narrow your options and then break down the question again. At least if you end up guessing at that point, your odds are much better. All right, let's take a look at how to maximize your mock experience. Let's start by looking at an example question from the taste test. Here we go. Now we're going to break it down. First, read the whole question. Christina wants to use NCR as an intervention for her kiddo, but also wants to avoid providing too much NCR. She wants to test a range of different NCR schedules, starting at very dense and moving towards much thinner. What kind of analysis would allow her to determine how much NCR is needed to produce ideal changes in the target behavior? Now we're going to look at possible answers and list the key features of each. A, parametric analysis. That's our hashtag #HowMuchIV. B, component analysis. That goes with our which part hashtag. Non-parametric analysis, which is a simple research question. Or functional analysis. This is our alternating treatment design and typically has conditions that equal the functions of behavior. If we go back to the question, we'll see that there are two key concepts here from our hashtags that are in our possible answers. We see that she wants a range of different NCR schedules and that she's interested in how much NCR is needed. Boom, you've got your answer. How much NCR matches how much IV, and so we know the answer is A, parametric analysis. Now let's look at the feedback you get when you take a Study Notes ABA mock. Parametric analyses answer research questions related to how much of the IV is needed. In this case, she would probably want to start with a very thin schedule of NCR and gradually increase the dosage of NCR until she started seeing results. This would be a parametric analysis and allow her to use the thinnest yet most effective schedule of NCR to help the kiddo. You'll also see what area of task list the question is associated with, as well as a link to a video explaining the concept in the question. To really make the mock exam worth it, you can use the feedback in a few ways. Take note of the task list area that you missed. Don't focus on the specific question, but keep a running list of areas you'll want to prioritize for study purposes later. Put together a YouTube playlist and play it in the background while you do life stuff. Simply copy and paste the YouTube links that are in the feedback and add them to your playlist as you go. Don't forget to talk the task list. Try to find additional examples of the concept in your real life. This will make it stick better than Cooperisms and Webster definitions alone. Now we're going to practice two of these superstar strategies, making it relevant and making it memorable. To make it relevant, let's go back to the first question and give some real-life examples. Parametric analysis was our concept, and here again are our hashtags, how much IV and dosage. For me, this example makes this concept really relevant. Advil makes my stomach hurt if I take too much, but it also makes my headache disappear. I could do a parametric analysis to figure out how much Advil I need to take to reduce my headache but not make me excessively ill. In this case, my parametric analysis would have a dependent variable of headache symptoms and an independent variable of dosage of Advil. I still only have one intervention or one IV, but I might look at taking different levels or doses of Advil in order to make it a parametric analysis. So here my research question might be, will 1 pill, 2 pills, or 3 pills take away my headache? For those of you that are teachers, another example like this might be more relevant for you. Nikki wants to give her students stickers when they help out classmates to encourage kindness in her classroom. She's also a teacher who buys her own supplies, sound familiar, and doesn't want to go broke. Doing a parametric analysis would allow her to figure out what ratio of responses to stickers is necessary to keep her students engaging in kind classroom behaviors. For Nikki, her dependent variable would be helping behaviors from her students, and her independent variable would be the ratio of positive reinforcement in the form of stickers to responses of her students. So a parametric analysis research question here might be, will an FR1, FR2, FR3, or FR4 schedule of reinforcement maintain rates of helping behaviors in the classroom? To make it memorable, use flashcards or SAFMEDs. The card should focus on just the key features of the concept. No 40-word flashcards, please. Here you'll see two cards I would make for the parametric analysis question. The front would be simple, parametric analysis, and the back I would put my hashtags, how much IV and dosage. Or I could use another flashcard like the second one here. The front would say lots of levels of 1 IV and 1 DV, and the back I would answer with parametric analysis. The fewer words, the better on both sides. Bonus quiz, which of the 6 attitudes of science does this remind you of? Hint, hint, parsimony. Plus, we have research to back this up. Ready to try another question? This is probably one of my faves on the taste test. In a recent study, a group of behavior analysts were trying to figure out why people share fake news. According to their article, the purpose of the specific experiment was to evaluate the effects of taking the pro-truth pledge on how often people make social media postings of inaccurate news. What is the dependent variable in this study? Let's break it down. First, let's skim the answers quickly. We have A, rate of social media postings, B, topography of the news shared online, C, frequency of people taking the pro-truth pledge, and D, validity of the news content. So now we have an idea of what we want to look for. Let's go back to the question. Here we know we're looking for a dependent variable. So let's put up some key features and hashtags. Dependent variable equals what's measured. I also like to use the template, what's the effect of the IV on the DV, whenever I see a research-related question. It's a good framework for thinking about basic RQs and breaking them down into their key elements. So of our possible answers, we can first eliminate the ones that are clearly missing in the question. Our question doesn't mention topography at all, so we know we aren't mentioning or measuring the form or shape of fake news. We also don't see any mention of validity or measures of validity, so we can rule that one out too. Now we're down to 2 choices. Of these, we can figure out which one is the DV using our template. The authors are measuring the rate of social media postings. Taking the pro-truth pledge is what the authors are manipulating, the IV. Now we know our answer, and we can move on. Let's look at the feedback you'll get on the mock again. Remember, you can use this feedback not just to tell you if you are correct, but to create cool study tools to help you continue to shape your exam expertise. If this was difficult, add the YouTube video to your playlist and note the area of the task list that you'll want to study before testing. Here you also have a link to an open access article. Use the article to continue practice breaking down key research concepts. A great way to practice this area of the task list is to pull a random article and identify the major elements: IV, DV, subject, design, and research question. If you're lucky, you might also be able to find evidence of IOA, social validity, or treatment integrity for additional practice. For now, let's practice making this concept relevant and memorable. Our concept in this question was the DV, the dependent variable, or what's measured. So here are some examples of DVs in my life. If I wanted to figure out the effect of positive punishment on how often my dog jumps on people that walk in the front door, the DV would be what's measured, how often my dog jumps. If I wanted to see whether posting workout photos to Instagram changes how many times I go to the gym each week, here I'm going to measure how many times I go to the gym, and so that's what my DV would be. Finally, if kissing my husband when he does the dishes affects the number of dirty dishes in our sink at the end of the week, I have a great dependent variable here. I would measure the number of dirty dishes in the sink at the end of the week. Don't tell anyone I'm doing this study. We can also add flashcards and SAFMEDs to our study deck. Here we've got 2 examples. Front says dependent variable, back just says what's measured. On the second one, we have a fill in the blank example. So on the front, we have what's the effect of the IV on the blank. The back just says dependent variable or DV. I like these SAFMEs as a way to study not only the concept, but to make those hashtags or templates really relevant in your mind when it gets to the exam. All right, hopefully this little review gave you some practice with the taste test mock and also helped you learn some strategies for rocking the real mock. Now it's your turn to participate. Here at StudyNotesABA, we want to offer even more support to make sure your mock experience is maximized. Here are 3 options we're considering. Please take a quick second to vote on which one you'd be most interested in on the StudyNotesABA Facebook page. We will try to get these out to you guys as soon as possible. So those of you that want to take the mock, go ahead and vote so we can start forming these things and get you guys ready for that August or November test date. Awesome. All right, time to go rock the mock and rock the exam. Thanks for listening, and remember, you got this.